Ever wondered how companies that pursue cost leadership still remain ethical? A warm welcome, everyone. Today we will perform an ethical cultural audit for two such companies, TESCO and Walmart. So let's get to it. First, cost cutting is typically associated with unethical behavior, but does this hold true for Walmart and TESCO? Looking at Walmart, it's the largest company by revenue, the top chain in the US with 10,500 stores and 2.4 employees. Now it also operates Walmart's foundation. Now looking at TESCO, it is the 9th largest retailer, the UK market leader with 4,673 stores and 360k employees. Both companies have significant global impact, but are they aligned with their values? Examining Walmart, it takes a stakeholder perspective to its business, and this is its corporate vision and its values. And we can see from its ESG summary that Walmart cares about 5 stakeholders: the environment, the customers, the employees, concerns over fair wages and whistleblowing, customers, their concern over marketing practices, and for everyone, they seem to be misaligned. However, Walmart seems to be doing well in communities as well as shareholders, donating money to good causes frequently and making the shareholders happy with rising stock prices. Looking at TESCO, it adopts a customer-centric approach, and this is its core purpose as well as its values, but we can see from their CEO and their actions later on that TESCO believes strongly in protecting its reputation above all else. Now, for its ethical audit, while TESCO faced similar lapses to Walmart, the extent of misalignment is much lesser.
The first dimension that we'll be looking into is fair labor wage. For Walmart's formal sources, its environmental social governance report elaborates on how fair pay is foundational to Walmart's high performance. Furthermore, they claim they pay an hourly wage of more than $14 and more than 200,000 associates are promoted to greater responsibility and higher pay. However, informal sources such as the Financial Times reads that Walmart's employees stroke against long working hours and no overtime pay. And Bloomberg discusses Walmart's resistance against $15 minimum wage, education, and maternity leave benefits. Moving on, TESCO's formal sources. Its environmental social governance report established that everyone deserves a fair wage, and TESCO makes a 6.9% increase to the basic hourly rate, which is above the national living wage. TESCO's new pay deal article also stated increased hourly wage rates. Next, the informal source such as Mail Online states that TESCO was shamed for underpaying workers by £5 million. And The Guardian discusses that while TESCO increased the hourly wages by 10.45%, they removed the bonus pay, putting TESCO's wage below its competitors. Now, both companies stand on the same line. However, the differentiator is how both the companies responded to the issues. While TESCO's team acknowledged, apologized, and further changed its policies, Walmart responded merely to defend itself as by increasing the wage rate to $15. Moving to the next ethical dimension, marketing practices. According to Walmart's former source, Walmart updated its global antitrust and competition law policy in 2020 to ensure compliance control. It also takes pride in the fact that more than 942,000 of its associates received ethics training in 2021. However, according to the informal sources, such as Tina.org, Walmart deceptively markets Made in USA tags, and Chicago Tribune states that Walmart falsely marketed regular beers as craft beers. Next, TESCO's formal source states that TESCO proudly follows ethical practices in the Code of Business Conduct report in 2021. However, the informal sources such as BBC reads that TESCO was fined £300,000 for misleading offers. Additionally, The Guardian states that TESCO misled shoppers with fake farm labels to attract customers. This makes both the companies guilty of false marketing. However, Walmart's initial response was to defend itself, whereas TESCO provided its staff with additional training to ensure guidelines were followed, apologized, and re-established marketing, making TESCO more ethical than Walmart in terms of marketing practices.
For whistleblowing, both companies have well-formulated policies to handle such situations. Let's now compare how whistleblowing cases are handled in real life. In 2005, Walmart fired their employee for reporting violations of the company's statement of ethics, which was later proven to be justified. 10 years later, a former Walmart executive was again fired for sounding out the company's persistent mislabeling of products. Walmart denied allegations and cited poor work performance as the reason for firing the whistleblower. Recently, another similar case occurred. This shows that Walmart has a standardized, unideal way of handling whistleblowing cases, of firing and denying allegations that is inconsistent with their policies. Comparatively, TESCO's management respect their whistleblowing policy. Case in point is the 2017 financial scandal. After TESCO's legal counsel was informed, the board of directors took necessary steps to handle the case and revamp their system. They also did not fire the whistleblower. Looking at the three ethical dimensions, both companies have committed serious faults. However, TESCO's response showed its willingness to resolve its problems, differentiating it from Walmart. To evaluate both companies' sincerity, we probe further into their sustainability efforts. In a bid to achieve zero plastic waste, Walmart became a founding member of Beyond the Bag, an initiative that seeks to alternatives for single-use plastic bags. However, Walmart simply manufactured thicker plastic bags instead of switching to plastic alternatives. Another red flag for Walmart is the use of mislabeling recycling labels. This shows that Walmart's insincere in following through their promises. Comparatively, let's look at whether TESCO stayed true to its sustainability goal of achieving zero net deforestation by 2020. In 2021, after Greenpeace called TESCO out for sourcing meat from JBS, the largest global meat processing company located in Brazil, TESCO took industry-leading steps by stopping Brazil meat sourcing, including deforestation-free as a supply chain target, and engaging with Greenpeace, an independent global campaigning network for expert advice. They also improved transparency in their supply chain. In summary, Walmart's misalignment of sustainability efforts with their goals show their insincerity, while TESCO's proactive stance marked them as more sincere.
Before coming up with our recommendations, the group first identified the underlying reasons for Walmart's unethical practices. In our findings about Walmart's wage issues, Walmart adopts a low-cost business model in which it aims to improve margins by cutting costs. We find this to be short-term, only maximizing utility in the short run. The group recommends that Walmart change its policies to improve margins by raising firms' productivity and efficiency through a satisfied and happy workforce via a fair wage policy. A fair wage policy that focuses on both employees' social and economic needs, improve employee morale, thus improving overall efficiency and maximizing utility in the long run. Such policy would provide the greatest good for the greatest number of people to both the firm and its employees. More importantly, the adoption of a fair wage policy will reflect Walmart's efforts to change and to be binding to its moral obligations to treat employees equally rather than just mere means. In the second ethical dimensions, false marketing practices, we find that Walmart's lapse of integrity in marketing is due to its profit-driven model and the lack of penalty enforcements for its negligence. The group recommends better supervisory on pricing and marketing guidelines to ensure product transparency. Under caveat emptor, Walmart has a responsibility to ensure that all products sold to customers are of good quality and information should be accurately provided. While we do not totally disregard caveat emptor, we feel that Walmart bears a greater responsibility to ensure fairness in which it do not deceive and manipulate buyers through false marketing or advertising. The group also recommends that Walmart adopt better compensations to its negligence. Walmart should be more upfront in acknowledging their mistakes and have cash refunds for items that are falsely advertised or marketed. We feel that this is Walmart's responsibility to its consumers. Though it might hurt Walmart's profitability, this is necessary if Walmart wish to be a better firm and have long-term relationship with its customers.
The pressure to maintain profitability resulted in lapses in decision-making at the expense of sustainability efforts. Looking at a classical view of CSR, Walmart's goal is to seek economic efficiency and growth of production. Sustainability efforts should therefore not be taken under consideration and can instead lead to more costs due to legal issues such as litigation. From a deontological perspective, Walmart's actions to pursue sustainability is morally right and should be commended. Yet, taking into account consequences from a theological perspective, Walmart actions are insincere as the impact leaves much to be desired. As sustainability is often measured by impact, the theological standpoint is more important here. As such, we recommend that Walmart cooperate with NPOs to provide external checks to ensure sustainability, train managers and include stricter protocols with specific goals and KPIs, as well as conduct life cycle assessment with companies, which can be publicly released for transparency's sake. In analyzing whistleblowing, we look at the opioid crisis case where Sharan, a pharmacist at Walmart, reported the false prescription of drugs during the 2012 opioid epidemic in America. In response, Walmart instructed Sharan to be quiet and threaten his job. When this issue became public, Walmart again claimed that it acted responsibly and shifted the blame to problematic doctors and government obligations. They later suspended and fired Sharan in 2013. Applying the loyal and disloyal agent theory, while Sharan was an agent of Walmart and therefore had an obligation to protect the interests and confidential information of the company, he did not have absolute obligation to follow all orders from Walmart. In fact, Sharan might have had a greater responsibility to prescribe medication ethically instead of prioritizing Walmart's interests for profit. Thus, we see a clear misalignment with Walmart's policies and its actions. The group recommends that Walmart can adopt this framework, which outlines clear steps to determine if whistleblowing is necessary when deciding their next steps. The framework shows that Sharan whistleblowing was of public interest and was a validated course of action. As such, Walmart can implement and communicate this framework to employees to boost their current whistleblowing policy.
Turning now to TESCO, is it as sincere as it seems? Now, after the wage issue, there's an expectation for TESCO to treat employees fairly and that such issues should not happen again. In reality, workers threaten to go on strike, and security guards are unfairly axed due to cost-cutting, and multiple trade unions demand for fairer pay to this very day. And what we observe is that the TESCO team is great at attribute framing, quickly responding to incite consumers and employees to view them as ethical. However, if TESCO was truly sincere, they will not face multiple concerns and legal battles so frequently. And this links to our next insight, where the TESCO team is quick to respond to all ethical issues, and this creates an expectation that a revamp its policy and mistakes similar to the past will not happen again. In reality, TESCO now face slave labor concerns. These are key categories in environmental targets, and misleading advertisements are not uncommon. While they have mastered the art of responding, TESCO still has significant issues translating these promises into long-term reality. And lastly, looking at insights into Walmart, it is surprisingly one of the most ethical companies in American mind. And this shows Walmart's awareness of the market of virtue, where responsible behavior is rewarded and a conscious image of the company is formed through philanthropy. However, beneath this, what Walmart has concluded is that it is sufficient to portray strong ethical values verbally, but overlook issues such as wages. And the reason why they can adopt such a stance and still look ethical is due to its dominance, giving them huge marketing power to control the narrative and partake in government lobbying for its interests. And Walmart's behavior appear acceptable because the truth is that the customer base values low prices over ethical behavior. While customers are more conscious, most are satisfied that Walmart partakes in CSR and can overlook its unethical behavior for the benefit of low prices. Now, in the long run though, it is not beneficial for Walmart to continue its unethical ways. Adopting even a cost-benefit analysis, Walmart is incurring large legal fees due to its behavior, which likely outweighs the cost of acting ethically. It makes even economic sense for Walmart to act ethically in line with its values. And in conclusion, tensions exist between the corporate goal of offering low prices for profits and the socially beneficial goal of keeping to ethical targets. And this is a struggle that companies like Walmart and TESCO must balance. However, in the long run, it's better to engage in ethical behavior because to not do so tend to result in significant unnecessary costs. Thank you.